Isn't that great? I love that. I read that to a friend once. He said he didn't like poetry because it was boring and serious. And I read him that, and he went, I like poetry after all. Because the only poetry he'd ever read was serious and long. You know, nothing wrong with it, but it had no introduction to anything quick and rhythmic. And when my father and I get into the argument over what is, can I get a little more? Just a little more. When we get into the argument over what wins and what loses, which is a silly argument that no one ever wins, I do want to point out that when you can do that with a poem, you can make rhythm and music and cadence and space and everything. You've really done something that is a lot easier for me to do than for him to do. So I'm impressed as hell, frankly. If it'll make you feel any better, I don't like all this stuff. That's actually a lie. I like all your stuff. Especially like these experimental poems, the ones you wrote in your own blood, nobody's ever seen. It's a little creepy when you're 11 years old and your dad's writing with his finger, but the Helter Skelter series. You know, I can tell the age of an audience when I say that. Immediately. Immediately. That's like if I sing, if you're going to San Francisco, which I very rarely sing, but I sometimes use as a goofy encore, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair, and people sing along, and I'm like, 62, 64, 59. And we appreciate y'all coming out for this, by the way. This is a lot of fun for us, and I don't think you'll see the poetry-music combination in this exact way again. This is my hockey song, hockey folks. I grew up on the iron ring, iron ore everywhere. The only ones who got away lie on that hill up there. But I could skate, I was quick and mean, and the Red Wings were excited. I didn't get nothing for the trip out east, at least I was invited. I was the king of the north when I was young. One step up, one step back from the bottom rung. Round here, it's all you need to be someone. I was the king of the north when I was young. I saw nothing but elbows for 3 days on the ice. See, every kid from Calgary had rolled the lucky dice. I was back on the bus, back on the range without a penny to my name. Sometimes you fail so well in life that you'll never be the same. I was the king of the north when I was young. One step up, one step back from the bottom rung. Round here, it's all you need to be someone. I was the king of the north when I was young. Opened up a diner in town, big Red Wing neon sign. The money just trickles in, but every dollar is mine. Never had to strip the ground for metal or build a steel cage that could keep me in this town forever, locked in the Iron Age. And don't you tell about dreams, I have them every night. See the hole open up and the goalie go down to the ice, but he's too late down to the ice. when I was young. Thank you.
Here it is. You know the movie Slapshot?
Yeah.
How many people know that?
Greatest movie ever.
Yeah, it's
Movie ever made.
it's a political, it's socio-political because it's about a dying town and a minor league hockey team. The playing coach is Paul Newman, and it's full of comedic vulgarity.
Fucking Chrysler plant, here I come.
Yep, it's a lot of that. There's a lot of stuff in it, and Nathan's mother and I used to judge his girlfriends by whether or not they like Slapshot.
So there's a lot of truth to that.
Okay, let's see what I've got here. Oh, yeah, I thought it might be a good day to read a poem called Wednesday. It's titled Wednesday because it had to be in the middle of the week. Gray rainwater lay on the grass in the late afternoon. The carp lay on the bottom, resting, while dusk took shape in the form of the first stirrings of his hunger. And the trees, shorter and heavier, breathed heavily upward. Into this sodden, nourishing afternoon I emerged, partway toward a paycheck, halfway toward the weekend, carrying the last mail and holding above still puddles the books of noble ideas. Through the fervent branches carried by momentary breezes of local origin, the palpable sublime flickered as motes on broad leaves, while the higher good and the greater good contended as sap on the bark of the maples, and even I was enabled to witness the truly existential where it loitered famously in the shadows, as if waiting for the moon. All this I saw in the late afternoon in the company of no one. And of course I went back to work the next morning. Like you, like anyone, like the rumored angels of high office, like the demon foremen, the bedeviled janitors, like you, I returned to my job. But now there was a match head in my thoughts. In its light, the morning increasingly flamed through the window. And lit by nothing but mind light, I saw that the horizon was an idea of the eye, gilded from within. And the sun, the fiery constellation of our night times, coming far. Within this expectant air, which had waited the night indoors, carried by, who knows, the rhythmic jarring of brain tissue, by footsteps, by colors visible to closed eyes, by a music in my head, knowledge gathered that could not last the day. Love and error were shaken as if by the eye of a storm. And it would not be until quitting that such a man might drop his arms that he had held up all day since the dew